Gage for Gaming here, back for week 2, round 3. This one is slightly different. I pre-recorded this, so I went in and looked, and I saw that I got a bunch of holes at the top zone. My Mothma held, and my gas held, and Mandalorians held. He did one-shot all my GLs at the bottom, and Malgus, and everything at the bottom. So it looks like he probably dumped all his GLs at the bottom here, and then he went to the back. He didn't touch my Hondo team. He did one-shot the Phasma and the Adrad. So, okay. So we're looking and see what he actually has. He put his big GLs at the top, LV and Ray, and Malgus, which got me kind of nervous because I saw a Jabba at the bottom. So I was just thinking of what I was going to use. He does put the normal Quag on, but then I saw a Dash team with Gear 12 Scoundrels on it. That Traya team that he has down, though, is scary, man. There's not much non-GL wise that will actually beat it. I mean, there's some bounty hunter teams that can beat it, and you can mirror match it with your Traya, of course, but not many other teams will actually get through it. We're going to start off with the Qui-Gon team, because I knew this one was pretty easy, and I was sitting in my car at lunch, and I was like, all right, we're going to try this screen record thing, and we're going to take an easy battle to make sure that it was all going to work right. Now, Datacron-wise, I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm just looking to throw a Datacron on there, because I figured any stats would be better than no stats. So I knew they were going to outspeed me, so I chose a 40 defense cron just to hopefully lessen some of the burden on the team. So here we go. Echo's second special, Tech's second special. Then we go to Wrecker and do his second special. Then we go to Omega, and we just use Omega's first special to get rid of Anakin. And then we use Hunter's second special to pass the turn back to Echo, and that won. If not, we would continue on the rotation. Okay, next we're going to just take out this Dash team. So the counter you're going to see here is the old trusty nest counter. This is the old school, used to take out every nest. I think you saw me use it last round as well. Ish was talking about it with me. Okay, we go in. And since Dash is the one that's relicked here, I immediately go for Dash. I figured getting him out would take a lot of the burden off of the team. I really wanted to steal their retribution, so that's why I jumped there. Normally I wouldn't. But I hit L3 so that I didn't want Zalbar to hit me back. So we started with L3, or IG-11 rather. for that reason right there. Okay, now I just buy time so that I can stun nest with Rebens marked. Okay, and now I can just freely hit on nest with all the basics. I think I just auto basic here just to reduce her max health. That way when she takes a turn, she dies. 64 banners. Okay. Next is the Jabba team. This, I don't do anything that out of the ordinary here. I just use the JMK team with the no revive Datacron that I've used just about every round. Sometimes it goes very well and sometimes it does not. Which will it be this time? We leap. Trying to decide. I decided just a basic there because I still have a lot of protection up and yeah. Okay, I cleanse all that defense up or defense down off. And I'm starting to stack a lot of thermals. Okay, Boosh is out. So you think it should be getting easier, right? It's a tanky team. And Embo getting foresight all the time. Starting to get a little worried because Jabba's getting very close to ultimate and gonna eat somebody. And I think the last time I used this team, Jabba ate Cat, which made it so slow. Now we can hit on Jabba. And guess what? He ate Cat again. I'm like, oh, great. Got the healing immunity on him, though. So I just put it on auto because it's going to take 15 years to eat through this slug. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. It's taking so long. And Ahsoka dies. Fortunately, it was low enough. If Jabba was higher health than that, I don't think I would have got through it if I lost snips. Okay, so I had to take a break right there because I had to look up Traya counters because I wasn't sure off the top of my head. And yeah, so I take a look at the top again and I go, okay, what am I going to use where? And I decided to wait on the Traya to see if I need to use SLKR or not there. So I go up top here to the Ray team, and I use the usual Start Killer team that I've been using. Now I got kind of nervous looking at this Ray team because that Datacron does have 150% health steal. And I'm like, oh boy. So the Ninth Sister Datacron that I've got there is the one I usually use with Star Killer because it has health and crit damage. Crit avoidance is nice too, but mainly the health and the crit damage is what I'm looking for in this counter. And we're off. Now I did use, the Datacron did have the weakest ally, gets 20% Terminator for each dark side, so Visas did go first. Now I used the middle ability, just because every time Starkiller uses a special ability, old Ben will gains damage immunity. And while he's taunting, you know, anything to soak up some damage. Now I am fortunate there that Rey already put herself in damage immunity. R2 is annoying, but half our work is already done for us. So. Now I can't hit no one but Holdo. I still jump though to get tenacity down, and I, you know, throw the aids around. At this point, I just dispel everything so that I could hit someone else. Get what stuns I can. Okay. I was trying to get Ray down below so that if I got lucky, I could kill Ben, and I was able to. So it was just one-shot him with Star Killer. So I'm like, oh, you mean I can take Ray out before she ultimates even the first time? Okay, let's do that then. So after this, it's just clean up. I mean, it's Star Killer's just playing whack-a-mole at this point. So now I have to do a little dance waiting on, you know, people to come out of damage immunity. And 63 banners. Awesome. So now we're doing the Arnold trick, or at least the video he posted is where I saw this. We're doing the Fennec with Boba. Now he uses OG Mando. My OG Mando is only R3, so we don't use that. We use BAM to sort of protect the other bounty hunters. I use the weakest gains 20% turn meter because my Boba Fett's the weakest and go first and can AE ability block potentially. So that's what we went with. But this time I'm still not fast enough with that turn meter to outrun Lord Vader. So I'm just getting punched in the face right now. So in order to keep BAM alive for as long as possible, I do end up passing damage immunity. I'm just trying to figure out who needs protection the most. And it was Boba Fett. Because if Boba Fett dies, this entire plan dies. So now we can finally taunt and get our stuff going. I was considering the assist call here. Because I'm not dazed. But then I'm like, do I need to cleanse off the buff immunity and other stuff? So we do end up cleansing. Now we do the mass assist call. Yep. And then I realized that Boba can target outside of taunt. And if I would have hit Maul, Candace would have got turn meter there. So we just need to get Candace off the table. We cleanse again because I'm trying to stay alive. Because I think I can just one-shot Vader if I can just stay alive. So that's what we're doing. And now that Boba can get around all the taunts and marks and stuff, I'm just using him to sort of target the others. And Maul and Candace were very squishy, surprisingly enough. So I get Maul off the table. Now we got protection up to Boba again to keep him alive. Now we don't have any debuffs. So this time, I'm pretty sure I call the assist. Protecting Boba Fett was the right call here. Because it seems like all of them are trying to target the Boba Fett. But now that Fennec's low, we give it to her. We go ahead to put some armor shreds on just to help Boba, because Boba's about to rocket to the face. 62 banners off meta counter Lord Vader. That makes me happy, man. That frees me up. Now that I took out the two biggest threats up top, that frees me up to go back down to the bottom, and I can freely use the SLKR here. Now, I did debate on whether I take First Order Officer or do I take First Order Stormtrooper in. I know I'm taking the Night Sisters in. But the question is, who's the fifth? So we do change the First Order Stormtrooper. Someone that can absorb some hits. oSavage. And I was kind of hoping that Stormtrooper would get isolated, at least at some point in this fight. But unfortunately right now it's Zombie. Rez, they only thought they killed him. Nope, they killed him. It only took them 2 shots. I did get the lucky stun of Nihilus there. We almost deleted Savage out of existence right there. Again with the stun on Nihilus. That's nice. And we got ultimate. And that deleted Talon out of the equation. I was hoping I was going to get the res there of either one of them. I didn't. So the swipe took Nihilus out. Good. That threat is gone. And then the second swipe eliminated Traya. Now I'm trying to see, can I stall it? Because I want to get around to dock and hopefully get the revive. I did want Savage off the table, so he stopped ramping. And unfortunately, the ramp was too much and killed Scion. 55 banners, pretty bad, but we got through it. Now we can see what's in the back, and I was expecting something difficult in the back, but I'm like, oh wow, a whole lot of cheese back here. I mean, Adrad's not really cheese, but the counters don't overlap with anything, right? So I know what I'm going to use back here. We know with oIden, especially this slow of relics oIden team, I'm just going to oWampa it. I know the last one with the full relic oIden team, it got pretty close to timing out, but this one I'm not worried about, because the AoEs could potentially kill the Gear 12s. So I think I don't even waste time. I just hit auto right here, or sometime soon. If you're watching this, I'm just going to go ahead and speed up this battle. If you've seen one, you've seen 1,000 of these. And victory. 68 banners there. Alright, now we move on to the Mon Mothma team. Okay. We're using the same counter that became our go-to this week. The oIden team. Same team as before. And I believe we use our secondary trooper cron. So I have a 4% one in offense and I have a 3% offense. I think on this team I use the 3% offense with some crit chance. Or crit damage rather. And the weakest still gets the Terminator. Okay, open up. Stunning KK. AoE. Pass the buffs. Come on. I'm slow. AoE. AoE. Taunt. AoE. And I think I just basic here. And then mass assist. 40 seconds. Max banners. Okay, Adrad's next. We're using the same counter. We're using Traya. Okay. I take in the defense with the tank revive. I know most of the time they're going to spend hit and Savage. I just do it just in case they hit Scion. That way he'll revive. If for some, it makes me feel better. But the 40% defense does help. It makes it harder for them to get through the bonus protection. Increase some cooldowns. So I go here, I get Gen low, or I try to get Gen low. That way when I annihilate Adrad, so I'm gonna isolate K2 here so I can just don't have to worry about his taunts at all. And then I get Gen low, that way when I annihilate Adrad I can just kill Gen. Now she's not cooperating very well. I believe the big hit gets her low though. And then I start working on Cassian, because there's no point to do any damage to Adrad, because I'm just going to eat him here in a minute. I could probably do a better job of managing these buffs, but I'm not too concerned. There. I eat before the ultimate this time. And now I can just go to Gen and lay her out. And I'm obligated to leap with Savage. You got to do it. Every round, you've got to do it. And now, the only thing missing here is the Talon leap. But she comes in at the end to leap K2. 65 banners. Alright, that's the back zone taken out. Now we can go up top and work our way through there. Though I'm pretty sure my opponent is stuck. At this time, at least. So here, I'm still I'm not brave enough to do just the C Watt that I see other people do. Because I'm like, oh, this is the strong Malgus team. I need to be, you know, worried about Darth Revan and all them. So I do C Watt, Armorer Thrawn, and the Geobrute Alpha. That we've been doing. To try to get the 3 stacks of Beskar armor onto the old man. And I believe I don't use a tank revive and I don't use turn meter here because, well, turn meter's a waste because I believe Watt's the weakest. And I have a very precise turn order modding-wise, and I don't want to mess with it. And tank revive is useless because there's no tanks. That's not summoned. So I try to go for get some buffs on whenever a dark side ally uses their basic. Because at least C, when he's waving his hand, will get some buffs or something. So we give tank tech over to C. We link Malgus and we link DR. Because they're the quickest. And they do their thing and hit Geobrute Alpha. Then I'm like, oh, can I cleanse Geobrute Alpha? And I'm sitting there trying to mask the screen, but I can't quite get there so far away. So now I'm looking on who I can put Armor Shred on. Don't want to do Malgus. So now I pass the turn right back to armor, and I get the Beskar armor onto C. So everyone has done their jobs. They can die now. And they very kindly oblige me and start dying. For about 2.1 seconds, I thought Armorer might actually get around to being able to use hers again. But then Marauder hit her, and I was like, oh, she's almost dead already. Well, drats. But now I have a 100% counter chance, so they're just going to get eaten alive now. Shock for you. Shock for you. I think eventually I do link. Yeah, I link Malik and Marauder. And I barbecued them for 53 banners. That is terrible. Terrible, terrible. And it's the Phasma team. At this point, I've got so much left that I just overkill it. I don't even think I use JML. I think I just CLS it. It was nice to have these teams as backup just in case some of the off-meta counters didn't work. But fortunately, they did work. And so we just eat through Phasma immediately. Turn off that Datacron. And then the next biggest threat was the TIE Fighter pilot, so that's over. Dispel Retribution, AoE, kill, 64 banners. There. So we've cleared all the ground without dropping a battle. So let's see about ships now. And there's no Executor, no Profundity on ships. So I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, that is a pretty thick Negotiator and a pretty thick Tarkin. So we've got to take those two out. So we're going to use our Profundity on one of them. So I don't like using Profundity against Empire because of the bomber. And we throw in the Sith bomber because even if I use my Empire fleet, so I took my Empire off defense this round because I was going to, if they posted an Executor, I was going to, or a Profundity, I was going to try the off meta counter to it. But they didn't, so I have all those ships available. So we stunned the bomber. We cleanse Sunfac. And we're plinking along. Give the aids. And then they heal up the bomber. That makes that was some rough stuff. And then they just start destroying all my ships. And yeah, that didn't work at all. I don't think I'm probably going to use Malevolence against that fleet anymore. It's the second time I've seen it on defense. Yeah, it was very one-sided. So then I go in for cleanup, and I'm like, oh man, what will take out a preloaded fleet? So I didn't want to use Profundity still, so I take in my Negotiator here. And we'll try it again with a little less suck this time. So I know I've got to get the Scythe dead. Right? But I got to get through the bomber to make that happen. So we just burn the AoE here to get through it. And now we can start hitting the Scythe. So I ended up deciding on who I was going to bring in. I ended up targeting the shuttle and bringing in Ahsoka because she gets extra buffs based on each buff that gets dispelled when she's brought in. Then I target the Scythe, and since she's powered up, she just ate it. But then these annoying little TIE fighters. Try to get Vader out right there. But now I bring in Plo Koon to heal up. Give turn meter to everybody. I target the shuttle because he's going to hit Vader anyway because Vader has target lock. Now we're just trying to get through the shuttle. And the interceptor comes in. So I got Retribution off. And we cleaned it up. 45 banners. So we move on. Now that we've cleared the Empire ship, we know what we're going to use here. We know we're using Profundity. So I know I want Ahsoka dead. And her buffs mean nothing to me. So there's no point in using the little radar move. I'm hoping to get it. I don't even know if Profundity does ability block. I was just hoping. So 20 assists later, this ship still is not dying. And I'm like, what? So one more, it fell over. Now I have to eat through the clone sergeant in order to get to Anakin. But this is where the radar comes in. Now Anakin is marked. And now it's dead. Use the ultimate to hopefully, because I didn't want to eat an ultimate from the Negotiator. And I don't call reinforcement because it would just be a banner. So, mass kill, 73. And that leaves Finalizer to take out Raddus. Okay, got hunted on Ray. Now I want to swap to the tank, and I hate this tank. So I try to kill it. Now I did make a slight mistake here. I dispel all these buffs like I didn't know Raddus was just going to take a turn and give it all right back. Should have waited. But, you know, it is what it is. No point doing the big hit, so I just basic again. Because they got crit immunity, it wouldn't have killed. So I bring in the Old Republic ship to dispel a second time all the nonsense. Now we pass the turn and we blow them up because Rose. And we got the stun. And now we do the basic, call silencer again. Ray still refuses to die. So we do the turn meter thingy. As this fight goes on, I'm getting more and more nervous. I'm about to eat a holdo maneuver. And we went 68 banners. Okay, so let's see what the final score is now. 1788. And they're currently sitting at 680. Stay tuned, and I will post the final result.